Hi everyone. Just want to talk today briefly about the importance of friendship. Just some things to ponder is, why do we need friends? Do we even need friends? And if so, how many should we have? What's the right amount? So for men and women, I think friendships have a different approach. As a woman, my friendships really are like that saying, the family you choose. They're sisters from another mister, however you want to put it. And like a lot of women, I have lots of friends. I have close, deep friendships, and I have friends that I see from time to time, but they're all really important. And those times spent together are quite therapeutic. For guys, I'm not a man, so I can't really talk on your behalf, but I see a slight difference where men maybe have fewer friendships and a few deep friendships. And I think from what Mick tells me, men are quite about problem solving when they've got issues or whatever to talk through, whereas in my experience with women, we're more about dissection. We're not looking for answers. We just like to sort of chat about everything and work it out along the way. So we're quite different, but obviously all of us need friends. So some online facts that I've been looking at is quite interesting. So it's proven that a good group of friends will bring you better health and less stress. Friends actually trigger empathy in us. There was a study done by James Cohen at the University of Virginia, and he took 22 people, and there was so this person here and their very good friend and a stranger, and he did that in groups. And what he did was, when there was a threat of electrical shocks that were going to be given to these groups of people, it turned out that the brain activity was the same if somebody was going to receive that shock themselves or their best friend was. So the interesting thing that came out of this is, if you've got a really good friend, if they are under threat, you feel that threat as well. That's how close you can become. There's also studies, it's not limited to humans, these other studies actually were done about animals, and it's been proven as well that between chimpanzees, baboons, horses, hyenas, elephants, bats and dolphins, animals can form friendships for life with individuals that aren't from their species. It's probably not a hard and fast thing, but it was just a really interesting thing. And you do sometimes see these videos online or even TV programs where, there's these beautiful friendships between animals of different species. So our self comes to include those that we are very close to. So there was a couple of scriptures that I just looked up, which I thought were just lovely. And one is Proverbs 17:17. And that is, a friend is always loyal and a brother is born to help in times of need. So God puts around us the people we really need. We're not meant to do life alone. We know it's all about relationships. And another one is Proverbs 27:9, which says, perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. And I'm sure we've all benefited from that, when you've really been in trouble and you've got that friend or two that you trust, and they just give such good advice, and it just sinks into your spirit, and they've hit the nail on the head. So that's a really good thing to have in your life. So when a friend is distressed, how do we react towards them? So there can be a couple of reactions. We can minimize things, or we can catastrophize things. And I'm mostly guilty of minimalizing things. I'm very much a person that I'm kind of like positive, and I could say, my cup is half full rather than half empty. But that's not always helpful when a friend is in need, because I can have the response that, oh, don't worry, be all right, if it's a Christian friend, because I know that God will sort it in the end, but for them sometimes that's not what they need to hear. They just need to have you stand by them and be their friend. And so I apologise from the bottom of my heart if I have minimalised with any of you, any of my friends, anybody at all, where I've kind of gone, oh, you'll be all right, and not quite, you know, been there as I should have done. I am sorry about that. And then there's another response where you can catastrophise and just get in a panic on behalf of people for things. That's not helpful either. So, you know, just somewhere in the middle is probably ideal if you can find that space. Just listen, be a friend, but encourage as well. And yeah, there was a quote here that a lot of you might know this already, but this I thought is lovely. If you live to be 100, I hope I live to be 100 minus 1 day, so I never have to live a day without you. And that's from Winnie the Pooh. Great words of wisdom there. And just to finish, I've got a quote here from Walter Winchell. Now, he was a very outspoken American newspaper gossip columnist. He died in the 70s, but people kind of admired him and feared him at the same time. But he said this: a real friend is the one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. And that, to me, whoever this Walter Winchell was, it just summed up Jesus to me. He is the one true friend, always there. When it feels like the rest of the world has walked out, he walks in and he doesn't leave you. So I'll just encourage you today that if you've got some friendships that are maybe been on the back burner, just send a little message or something, you know, chat to somebody. It will mean a lot to them. And just remember that Jesus is your friend for all time. He walks in when everybody else walks out. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.